Hey everybody, how's it going? Just wanted to hop on and do this live because I felt really called to talking about some things that I think have been coming up for a lot of people, right? For the past 3.5 weeks since the full moon, a lot of people have felt challenged, societal. We've heard about celebrity suicides, and it's shaken people up. However, yesterday was the new moon, and I think one of the things about the new moon that's been really powerful is that it has allowed everyone at least a little bit of relief. And what I mean by that is uh, when it the full moon brought all our bullshit up. It was like your bullshit had to come up. And when it came up, what happened is we all were thrown off. It was like, what is going on? Why is this affecting me so much? How can I not feel this way? When does this end? All that stuff. So, one of the things that I have started to realize is it needed to happen for a lot of people because your BS was restricting you from seeing who you really are. It's like mind over matter, but we were really taking matter over mind. And it was really fascinating. And one of the things that I realized is that I have had a lot of BS holding on to me too, whether it is making excuses for people or not loving myself or whatever it is. And what that did is it brought this whole tsunami of shift in my life that I felt completely ill prepared to handle. And it affected every area of my life, whether it is business, whether it is my relationships, my health, my my living situation, whatever it is. And finally, yesterday, with the new moon, I felt a lot of relief. I gave myself a reading. I said, okay, let's sit down and see what's going on. Why is everything falling apart for you? It became very clear it's because everything had to now come into a place of harmony in a very expansive space. And it's very scary because I've been in the unknown. And it pushed me to go deeper with the divine. It pushed me to go deeper with myself. And ultimately, I came to terms with the fact that you can't judge people if they're in pain and they want to kill themselves. That's just part of life. Like sometimes life is very rough. You cannot judge them. You can have compassion for them, and it should trigger you enough to see, are you struggling the same way? So what are you going to do about it? Is there someone in your life that is struggling the same way? So what can you do about that? And as you ask these questions, as you go through that process, if you start to realize you don't have the tools and life is going to throw stuff at you, life will throw stuff at you. What can you do to strengthen yourself? You have to be done with the BS. Don't let life get you to a place where it totally strips you away from everything. Like, don't do that. Because that's what I've done. I've allowed life to strip me away from everything. And it was very humbling. But it was also very real. And I'm really happy that it was so real. So now I'm telling you guys, allow yourself to feel the shifts that are happening are for the best. And when everything falls apart, it's because things are coming together. And for me, it has allowed me to now really get in touch with what I'm going to be launching, which is How to Be a Bitch, which is Babe in Total Control of Herself. And I'm really excited about this because I think it's going to be phenomenal. And I cannot wait for you guys to actually see what the product is about because I think it's going to be absolutely, absolutely, it's going to change a lot of things. So, if you guys are struggling, get help in the sense of seek support. Don't just deal with it on your own, but also start depending on yourself and ask yourself, what are you believing about yourself? Do you really truly believe you don't deserve the best? Do you really truly believe you're not worth it? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Not for anybody else, but for yourself. And as you do that, it's a life-changing process because now it's you competing with yourself. There's always going to be somebody who's smarter, who's more pretty, who's more intelligent. There's always going to be somebody. But how do you get to the place where it's about you? Like, how are you going to do that? Where do you find that? You're going to keep comparing yourself, and it's always going to suck. Or you could surround yourself with people that make you feel better, and you'll still never reach your brilliance. Because now you feel better because there are people that are not as good at any level, and you know that you are probably better than them. So it makes you feel better about yourself. So you're not really doing anything. So forget about people who are better than you or people who are worse than you. You figure out what makes you tick. You figure out what is going to make you the most successful thing, the most radiant thing that you are. And because so much of our time and energy is all about everybody else, we never truly get to figure out who we are. And who we are is not what we are. And what that means is our circumstances, everything around us does not define us. It can't. Because the new moon allowed us to really take a sigh of relief and say, okay, and the tools that you have will get you through it. They might not in the moment feel like it, but at some point you will get into it and you'll say, I have to do this. I have to allow myself to feel this. Okay? Like it's powerful because of that. And for me, I'm in this like space now where I'm like, nothing can break me because I want it to feel broken. I want it to be done. And when you realize there is no being done, here's what I'm going to tell you. This guy, he's like the athlete, but he had nothing growing up. And when he talks, he says, I want people to know it has nothing to do with that, because it has nothing to do with having a nutritionist, having a person who's going to help you. This nothing. He's like, it was me and myself. And I'm like, that's it. It is about you and yourself. But because we don't know who we are, we run away from it. We find distractions. We get on our phone. We get on Facebook. We go to parties. We are watching TV. We're, whatever way we can get ourselves away from that, we do it. Or feeling sorry for ourselves. Let's feel really sorry. Because, look at me. Poor me. I'm just so pathetic. It always happens to me. Nothing good happens to me. It's always like, oh my God. And some people get very good at it. And they're very good at fooling themselves that they're actually doing anything about it. No one's doing anything about anything. Because if you're actually doing something about it, you'll see a shift. So a lot of people have become very good at this game of feeling sorry and thinking that is actually mean they're doing something. Feeling sorry for yourself doesn't equal to doing anything about yourself. That is just you feeling sorry for yourself and then saying, well, I tried, but it didn't work. Why is that an option? That should not even be on the table. And I'll say this, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of bravery to deal with your shadow, to navigate your shadow. There has to be a safe way to do it. So don't please take that as like, oh, okay, no. There's a very safe way to do it. That's why I didn't kill myself. That's why I didn't go and join the mental hospital. Because I did have a safe way to deal with my shadow. Now, it was very chaotic. Sure. It was very painful. Sure. My ego took a beating. Sure. But I didn't ultimately commit that act, right? And that doesn't make me better than somebody else who has. All I'm saying is I have the tools. There's the difference. There's a huge difference. And a lot of people want to sit there and say, oh, I don't know why this person didn't get help. Maybe they tried and they didn't have any fucking person who actually cared about them. People say a lot of things. It's not true. So you have to realize you are the only one you can depend on. Now you will have people that will support you, but they can only hold the space for so long. At some point you have to break through that hypnotism of, we get hypnotized by our own suffering. It's very hypnotic. It's very hypnotic. Why is it so hypnotic? Because it feels good, right? You don't have to do anything about it. Just keep suffering, suffering, suffering. And it's like, okay, cool. But then it doesn't feel good. I don't think it feels good. It didn't feel good to feel how I felt these past few weeks. I just didn't like it. It was so sad. This feels good. Me getting on here and saying, you know what? I know you're suffering, but I'm going to tell you, you can get through it. This feels good. Because I'm doing something about it. And so many of us are just stuck not being able to do anything. So tomorrow, the course gets launched and it's called How to Be a Bitch, which is how do you deal with the shadow? That's really what it is. How do you come to that empowered place about yourself? Okay? So, okay. I'm going to hop off here now. I just want to send each and every one of you love. Anyone who's struggling, don't beat yourself up because you're struggling. Struggle is normal. But don't do something that will push it over the limit. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? So I'm going to hop off here now, but much love to each one of you, and I will talk to you guys very soon. I'm going to do readings later on Periscope, and we will talk about some of these topics over there too. Okay? So much love, you guys. Bye.